Remember when they said you'd find out the end of that one episode at the end of here, and then you didn't?
Very Cromartie.
Now, okay. 26. The final episode. Suda, Cromartie Girls High School. It's Cromartie Girls High School, and everyone is a princess. It's Miss Kamiyama's first day, and she walks around the school meeting all the princesses. Back at Cromartie High, Kamiyama, Hayashida, and Maeda talk about their futures, and Kamiyama points out that their worries are trivial compared to what Freddy, Fake Yamaguchi, and Mekazawa go through. Yeah, the last episode is the first half's a gender bent episode of the first two episodes. It's basically covering the first two episodes or three. And then it's just everyone having a pseudo philosophical conversation about worrying about the future.
Can we talk about how it basically looks like they, in anime form, badly photoshopped the guys' faces over existing female models?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that Yoshida's hair, or Hayashida's hair, is just put on top of another female hairstyle.
Takanuchi's or Hakuto's lackey's hair has a ponytail that's an entirely different hair color. And the whole joke is they're just delinquent girls, but they're not delinquents, they're princesses. Dearest mother. Hold on, I wrote down the exact line. Hold on. What was it? Here we go. Yeah, but one problem. All these young ladies are from good families who are princesses, and I don't know how to react.
I just couldn't get over when they show Kamiyama's face for the first time and you just see his face and a bulged head over a clearly, like, stick skinny female. It's like...
They just, like, I don't know. It's like, I want to say there's a deeper joke here that like, they're making fun of, like, oh, the anime aimed at men, like a male or boy demographic and a female demographic are not all that different. They're basically the same thing. It's just a palette swap of one put onto the other.
Pretty much. That's how these characters are not any different if they were women.
No. And it's weird because on one hand, it is absurd that they went in this direction and then just like half of the stuff that happens here. And then, but yeah, this one Tetsuya guy pops in. He's like, there won't be a next time.
They just get, whoa, there's a guy here. I didn't introduce myself. Hello.
I'm Tetsuya. Yeah, way to get your name out there before, on the very last episode before Hakuto's lackey ever gets a name. Well, he'll never get a name.
Nope.
No, it's weird. It reminds me of the stepsister joke from Shrek 2. I don't know how, like, just it's a weird joke. They don't change out the voice actors at all. They're just the same ones. So I don't think
they aren't even trying to do feminine voices either.
No, they're just doing their tough guy voice.
I am Tokuyo Yamaga. Takanuchi.
And then there's the best line read of the episode. So who's going to be the strongest princess?
Yes.
Let's do a competition. Yeah, well, let's skip the competition and just say that Miss Kamiyama is the strongest princess that there is. Oh gosh! And then go ahead.
There's one line once we get to the second half where Hayashida is talking about his dream in the future. I always wanted to be a frog when I grow up.
I don't know
why, but I just lost it.
I don't know what possessed me to say that, but I knew that even when I was young, I didn't want to live a normal life.
Oh gosh. And like, listen, there could be something like to be said about like, hey, don't worry too much about your future. It's like that Kung Fu Panda line. yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery. That's why
That's
you
why they call
enjoy
it the
today.
present.
Yeah, that's why it's called the present. But this show's not sincere enough to actually have something like that. Because then it's just like, who cares about what's going on there? Like in the future, look what's going on out there. And it's Freddie, Mekazawa. By the way, Mekazawa and the Cromartie Girls High School just had cat ears, and that was it.
I saw a comment on the Crunchyroll thing where they should have called him Nekazawa. Because
Oh,
I was like, yeah, cat ears.
Yeah, so, oh gosh. So yeah, it's like
He said
fake,
Neko-chan.
so fake Takanuchi, Freddy, the Gory the Gorilla, and Mekazawa are doing something out there, and they're just saying like, yeah, you know what? No worries, because who knows what their future is going to be.
And then he just broke Mekazawa.
And then-
Ah!
oh my god! And then the show ends. An ending so shocking, Thor's hammer moved.
Yes. It was just, they felt it calling that he wanted. And then, like, the best part is, I'm like, they point blank said you'd find out at the end of the show. And then they didn't show that. And then I was like, okay, maybe there's an end credits. So I popped all the way to the end credits. And then all it was, this is the episode we are ending the show on. Thank you, everyone, for following. And it's Kamiyama going, thank you, everyone, for following these 4 years. And then it's Hayashida going, we were only on for 6 months, and it cuts off.
the way this episode ends is just it's so Cromartie.
It's still funny. I mean, yeah, some parts haven't aged well, but like all things considered, for a mid 2000s comedy, especially a mid 2000s comedy anime, you could do so much worse. And there are like modern anime, like today, like comedy anime today, that pull off some really heinous jokes where it's just like, that shouldn't have been okay. It wasn't okay back then. Hell, it's not okay now. Here it's just like one F slur and then the weird way to interact or talk about the Cromartie girls thing, and that's really it. You couldn't ask for a better comedy, like for a comedy, than to actually age well.
This still blows my mind that this wasn't made out to be a giant Adult Swim hit.
I don't get it. Either because I don't know. It's like this would have been 2005, so Full Metal. I think they were just looking for action shows, like they had Dragon Ball, Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, maybe Full Metal Alchemist and S Cried or something like that.
Maybe.
Then again, they had Paranoia Agent, so
Yeah.
it's not like Cromartie wouldn't have felt like out of place on an Adult Swim thing. It's literally a Japan take on an Adult Swim property.
Yeah. And like, I would have watched the crap out of this. This is when I would have been going into high schools in 2005.
But it's just like silly, nonsensical humor. It's like, it's funny because it's random. Well, I mean, it's more than that, but it's interesting. Like, like even if this thing was animated like garbage, the writing got through, because that's really all you can ask for. Also, with anime, is that like, hey, I don't care if the animation lacks, as long as the writing's good, that's great. Tokyo Revengers, a more serious take on the delinquent drama, is literally like one of the most popular shows right now, and it doesn't have the best animation, even though it's like super big. So,
but
No,
I think with this show specifically, it does kind of help. It helps that yes, the writing is silly and irreverent, but that the animation is also kind of quirky in its own way, combined with everything, makes the show what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's a bummer that throughout the annals of, or whatever it's called, that word, like the history of comedy anime, it got left behind when everyone was like, oh no, XL Saga and Azumanga Daioh are the only good ones from that time period. And that's a shame. I get it, but it's a shame.
It is. I didn't know what to expect when we started watching this. I still don't fully know what I watched at all points in this show. But I'm glad that I watched it. It'll be something that I suggest to people. Like, you want something you can knock out in a day?
Just I don't even care that half the characters were only there for like one episode. Like the guy with the keyboard and such in the forum posting, he was there for just one episode, but he keeps showing up in the opening.
Yeah.
And who cares?
Yes. Exactly. It's excuse me. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Glad we saw it. That's
Same.
another one I can check off the list. I don't know that anyone's watching this. We mentioned it in the comment. I have a now like 6 to 7 page single spaced Google Doc of recommendations of animes that just keep on growing. The list never ends. But yeah, this was definitely different.
Well, like what have y'all talked about? You've had like Gurren Lagann, we've done Evangelion, y'all.
Akame.
Yeah.
Violet Evergarden.
And
Yep.
then the next one, which I won't mention on here because it might start airing in the middle of this, depending on when the episodes land next year. But it also takes place at a school. And the anime that I watched, the last binge that I watched previous to this was Trinity 7.
Oh gosh.
Ah!
I know. I'm gonna next time I'll recommend something that's a little more substantial, like
Yeah.
like I want to do like Guard or Pat Labor or what was some of the other ones I recommended, like Horimiya and Sleepy Princess in a Demon Castle. Those are
those are ones I definitely want to explore in the future.
Or if we wanted to do like another absurd comedy that's actually educational, we should just do Heaven's Design Team, which God got bored of making all the animals, so he got a freelance group to make animals. Alrighty, but yeah, no, glad we finished it, man. This was fun. I like this show.
Yeah,
I wish I didn't miss out on it back then.
Yeah, so did I, because I would have quoted. It's so wrong, but it's funny because it's absurd.
I think it would take it as a badge of honor if you misquoted it, saying like,
We're,
"Hey,
what is it? I can't. It was like whether either dealing with women or guys from Bass High. No, ever trying to get a date with a woman or dealing with the guys from Bass High. Pressure always works.
And like I've heard about this off and on because I watched they're not a thing anymore. Two best friends or super best friends play, and I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. And like they're always you just be like Kamiyama, and then like you mentioned the Bass High thing, and I'm like, what? This is Cromartie? I'm like, I had no idea it was an anime. I honest to God thought it was like a Saturday morning cartoon that just was a little bit crass, and I'm like, okay. But
no."
all right, yeah. But all right, one last time, at least for as far as Cromartie's concerned. Cameron, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cam's Eye View. I have a website called camseyeview.biz where I review animated films and shows from around the world called The Other Side of Animation. I am the co-host on the Renegade Animation Podcast on renegadepopculture.com. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/camseyeview. That's where you can find me.
All right, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You need an escape, so do we.
So absolutely, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. And until next time, in the next one, we'll see you all later.